Welcome into Rounding the Bases, the podcast about culture and leadership with a baseball twist, presented by Community America Credit Union. My name is Joel Goldberg, and thanks for joining. As always, I have a little bit of a repeat guest today. For people that have been listening or watching this podcast, Rounding the Bases, for a long time during the heart of the pandemic. I don't even remember when is and is not pandemic anymore. But, in the early stages of the pandemic, April, May, June, July of 2020, I took this podcast and then started streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and all over the place every single day. And I did over 100 of those while I was home, out of work. And one of the guys that I met along the way was Dan Smith. And so we had a nice conversation. But, it's occurred to me as I've had the chance to get to know Dan a bit over the last year and a half, that I was missing his other work half, if you will. And in that last year and a half, I've also had the chance to really get to know Charon Thompson. And they make a phenomenal duo. Their organization, and they have other things too. Both of these guys are extremely busy. But I know that their pride and joy is the Porterhouse KC. Sounds like a great steak. And I'm all for a great steak too. But this is so much more than that. The Porterhouse KC is a inner city-based co-working community that provides entrepreneurship access and resources. Access is a big word. We'll talk about that, a keyword, in just a bit. But access and resources to underserved populations in the Kansas City metro area. Their mission is to be a bridge for underrepresented individuals that typically don't have access to the entrepreneurial dream. Shouldn't we all have that? Their vision, that underserved communities will have an entrepreneurial access to start, grow, and thrive in business. And I've had a chance to meet a lot of the folks that have come through Porterhouse KC. Had some of those entrepreneurs on my podcast here, like Naeem El Amin was one of my great guests, and so much more too. The amazing sisters over at Bliss Books and Wine were a lot of fun. A little bit of background: Dan Smith is the co-founder and principal, provides organizational leadership and direction to the Porterhouse KC. Is a native of Kansas City. Charon Thompson, also co-founder and principal, provides operational leadership and manages social for the Porterhouse KC. Raised in KC, born in Massachusetts. Both guys went to high school in Kansas City, and they're impacting the community. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to have them on. So that's a fairly informal introduction and a way of me bringing in the dynamic duo of Dan and Charon, Dan Smith, Charon Thompson. Fellas, how you doing?
All right. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
That's the voice of Charon first, Dan second. I'll try to make sure those that are listening on iTunes, Spotify, and all the fun places we get our podcasts, that they will know who it is. Why don't we start simply with this? Before we get to the why, let's get to the what. So, Charon, tell me, beyond what I just said in a very brief introduction, what is the Porterhouse KC?
Porterhouse KC. So we help entrepreneurs start their business and sustain their business in the Kansas City metro area. If they're the underserved entrepreneurs in the Kansas City metro area. So as far as products, service, if you have anything business-wise, if you have a business that you need help with, we try to help you with your business. We have a curriculum program, and we have a mentee mentor program that we serve. And we're we innovative. We're trying new stuff all the time. We're creative. So we got stuff on the horizon as far as events, as far as planning, as far as with the Porterhouse KC. We got a lot of events coming up.
You guys always have events coming up. You have an amazing presence on social media. I feel like every time I look up, one of the two of you, usually both together, are in front of a camera, helping someone, speaking to someone. You were desperate enough even one night that you had me on live with a Facebook thing too, which was we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did.
But and I always love hanging with you guys because your energy, and I think your energy individually is great. Collectively, you two just make such a good team. It's like you're always together. I think your family's probably saying that about you too, right? It's like it's always the Dan and Sharon show, the Sharon and Dan show. But Dan, I want to know a little bit more about the why, because we're talking about underserved. It's hard to start a business. I don't care who you are. It helps when you have a lot of money and connections. That doesn't guarantee you're going to get there, but at least it gets you in the door. But most people, and certainly within certain communities in any city, oftentimes minority, usually minority, the hill is so much steeper to climb. And I think that there's a lot of the why there. But tell me about the personal why for the Porterhouse KC.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate. First of all, thanks for having us on Rounding the Bases again. Right, this is my second time. I know Sharon. I mean, even though this is my second time, it's really kind of like Sharon's second time too, because like you said, we're always together anyway. But yeah, so you know, we started years and years ago. So we both were entrepreneurs. We were those typical high school guys too, that used to sell candy out of our lockers and middle school, and you know, evolved into planning parties and throwing parties and stuff like that. Always trying to find a way to have an impact and obviously make some money. And so our first business that we started was Smith and Thompson Maintenance. It was some years ago, and we learned a lot from that. Made a lot of mistakes. Had a lot of success. It was fun and had some success. But we found, obviously afterwards, when we reflected back on the things that worked and didn't work, that we had a lot of opportunity. One of the things that we wish we would have had back then, and mind you, we were knuckleheads back then, so there could have been some opportunities that we just missed. But we wish that there was some guidance, some more individuals or programs to help us guide us through this process of entrepreneurship. And who would have known? Who knows? I mean, we could have been multimillionaires by now, or not, or in the same position that we're in right now. But at least we would have had the opportunity to get assistance along the way. And so fast forward to you know, the start of the Porterhouse KC. We're always trying to figure out, I mean, that's the life of an entrepreneur, trying to figure out ways to solve a problem. And so we found out, I mean, like, there was a lot of conversation happening, primarily based in the digital, in the tech world, because Google Fiber had just came to Kansas City, and the conversation about making Kansas City the most entrepreneurial city in the country was going on. And although primarily focused in tech, we still, you know, we still felt we felt a way about where the direction was going, right? And there was a lot of conversation happening in a certain area, but not necessarily in the areas that we grew up in, as it relates to small business and entrepreneurial support and all these good things. So we felt like the low-hanging fruit was education. So we decided to you know, and we met a lot of people around, you know, in our past as it relates to business, a lot of professionals. We said, hey, let's reach out to some of our friends to see if they're be willing to come do some workshops and things like that to help teach some folks how to be, you know, not necessarily professionals or consummate professionals in those areas, but at least learn a little bit about, like, accounting, little bit about, you know, the law structures, how do you properly structure your business, accounting, things like that. So we did that, and you know, I could keep going on, but that was kind of the our why, right? Our why is we felt like, you know, we missed out on a potential opportunity when we were young, and we wanted to create more space and opportunity for entrepreneurs and create economic development in the communities that we come from. So yeah, that's kind of the start.
We definitely wanted to bring resources out to entrepreneurs or anybody starting off, especially you know, getting your EIN, your LLC, and all that stuff. We wanted to teach them basically how to start your business, the basics of starting your business. So a lot of people still don't know how to start their business. So
right, I mean, there's there are resources there, but you have to find them. You have to have access to them. And you also have to know what the good and the bad resources are. There's a lot of bad stuff out there. And so, you know, it's so easy to say, well, just go to YouTube or go to Google or whatever. Well, you still have to figure out what the good stuff and the bad stuff is. And it still comes down to people. I always say this. It always comes down to people. And so if the two of you are visible and out there in the community, and that's both of your personalities. I mean, you are both people, if that makes sense. That's how you teach. That's how you make an impact, is by building those relationships, and then one step at a time. Or I think the sign above you says 50 things one time, or one thing 50 times. And there's so much to that in terms of discipline. But I'm curious, maybe a two-part question, and you guys can both jump in a little bit more, because while you both were Kansas City kids basically growing up, you went different career paths. So tell me about your career paths and what brought the two of you together to join forces, or not what, but how did you join forces?
So the career path. So from college, I went on to, I was working at actually Peachtree Restaurant for like 5 years. When it was on 18th and Vine, actually where close to where Soiree is now. So I was working there for a while. So I was actually basically being like a waiter management, teaching, you know, new waiters and waitresses when they come in. And then from there on, I went on to, we started the Smith and Thompson, but we were frat brothers. So we pledged together Kappa Alpha Psi at UMKC. And basically we was close from that point on, and we just kept in touch with each other. And the way we was like, why don't we just start a business? It was an opportunity presented to us at one of the departments on the Kansas side, and we was like, why not start a business and let's just grind it out and do the work. So other than that, that's kind of how we started the Smith and Thompson maintenance business. But we didn't know all the, you know, where to start, the transitions of, you know, how to start your business. We had to kind of do research on our own. So what we're doing now is we're giving the basics that you need as far as starting your business too.
Yeah. So, and then as far as the trajectory, after school, I got into corporate America. But, you know, you never, that itch always, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, and a lot of entrepreneurs know this, and small business owners know this, like that itch, it might go away for a little bit, but it's going to come back. It's guaranteed that itch is going to come back. And, you know, throughout, you know, my time in corporate America, we've done some side hustles and things like that as well, all leading up into this point. So, yeah, just, and right now, we have, been blessed with the opportunity to have one of us, me, go full time in what we're doing, to try to enhance our programming and grow what we're doing, grow capacity and everything else. So really excited about kind of where we are and the trajectory of where we're going. So yeah.
So if it's a full-time job for one of you, first off, I know it's a full-time job for both of you, but I think does that mean, Sharon, you're working 2 full-time jobs?
Yes. Actually, almost 3. So I still work for the railroad, BNSF Railway. I've been there for almost 15 years now. So, I mean, I think of it, I'm a hands, man-on type of job. You know, I like working with my hands a lot. So I've been there 15 years, like I said, and then like I have Black Drips Coffee that we started this year, almost 6 months ago, I think 6 months ago with Black Drip Coffee. So we've been, I'm everywhere. And I got 3 kids that I'm always, you know, going home to. I have to pick them up, you know, do all the basics. So we're busy guys. Dan always got to go to basketball practice or soccer practice now. So yeah, busy.
Yeah, I know both of you are dedicated family men as well, and that, as we all know, is a full-time job in itself. But let's talk a little bit about who is coming through the Porterhouse, KC, the programs that you're offering. I know that, what was it, a year ago or whenever it was, I got to speak to one of your groups that has since graduated. virtually, and it was just like, it was so awesome because everybody had just these amazing stories and these dreams. And there was, remember, it was a Saturday morning, and there was such a cool vibe, even virtually,
Yeah.
that it just like felt like we were all, I don't know, like hanging out at a cool coffee shop or something, and listening to a little bit of music, and exchanging ideas. And you guys were kind enough to let me speak to the group. But
Yeah.
when did this all start sort of flowing, Dan? And how does this all work?
Yeah. So our goal, one of the primary goals, we have a few goals that we want to accomplish. And one is to create a space where people feel comfortable, because we know that entrepreneurship, being a small business owner, you have to be, in order to become successful and to properly use resources that are out there, you have to be vulnerable, right? You have to put yourself out there. And so, and I always give this story about how, and I, kind of equate it to when I was in elementary school. I sucked at math, right? And the teacher would call you up to the chalkboard and have you map out problems. And if there's all kind of feelings in that space, right? Like, you get up there, first you're already embarrassed. You're going to get the problem wrong, right? And you already got called out to come up to this board. And then you get it wrong, and then you get, potentially ridiculed from your teacher, right? And then you have your peers, right, chuckling and laughing at you. And so imagine going through school that way. And a lot of us do go through school that way. And we grew up in the system where we are not as comfortable and confident in ourselves as we should be. And so imagine being a small business owner, trying to figure life out as a small business owner, and putting yourself out there. And it's hard, right? So what we want to do is we want to create an environment that's safe, that is a family atmosphere, and we want to be able to create this vibe, quote unquote vibe, that people can come through, and the entrepreneurs that we serve can come through and be comfortable and know that this is the space that we're creating for people. But man, we've also, I just want to say, Joel, we've been blessed with some folks that, I don't know, man. It's cool, and I love it. But man, we got some talented people, man. Some talented folks that have joined our cohorts. This is our second full official cohort. We've actually done 7 total, technically, but 4 of them. Or 5 of them were in a program through another organization that we were just kind of doing some accelerated version of our program. So this is our second full one. We're actually ending that tonight, or tomorrow night. But man, you got to meet Alicia Bowman with Unleashed, Naeem Alameen. Obviously, you had him on the show. The Bliss Books and Wine Ladies, Deanna with Latino Arts Foundation. Candace with Candyland. Like, there's so many entrepreneurs in our program that were dope. Like, all of them were dope, right? And our new cohort right now, Deron Kearney, India with Fresh Factory KC. I mean, we just, I don't know. We just lucked up. The Lord blessed us. They say, you know what? It's going to get challenging. So we're going to put these really great people in front of you in the beginning, because we know some cohorts on, it's gonna be some more challenges that are coming your way. So we accept it.
You know how somebody's good and they just come up to the base and they just hit them right off the bat. That was all our cohorts, or everybody that came through our program. They were all just amazing. They was all willing to sit down and learn everything. They wanted it all.
Well, incredibly talented, ambitious people, men, women, and all doing different things too, right? I mean, it's just all different types of entrepreneurs. I know in looking at the website, porterhousekc.com, and I was interested, and I want to get more of your take on this, on the program flow, because it's a long program, right? It's over the course of
15 weeks.
Yeah, 15 weeks. And so you have speakers and panels and all of that going on. But but it's designed, and it says weeks 1 through 4 foundations, week 5 through 8 the core, weeks 9 through 11 really real, weeks 11 through 15 the beyond class structure. So Charon, expand on that a little bit. Those are kind of little catchy things there. I know that you guys are working on everything with your cohorts, but describe that a little bit more.
The classes, so the classes we go through, the 15 weeks, we break it down all the way through your business plan structure, through speaking, evaluating your assets, evaluating just basically your business, seeing if you want to do your business. If you don't want to do your business, we start off the weeks with that. But the basic intro through this first 6 weeks is the basics. And then once the 7 weeks beyond, we break it down in your business. We giving you the heartaches. You might cry at the end of the night. You might, because being an entrepreneur is blood, sweat, and tears. At the end of the day, you are working hard. You are doing the work yourself. We're not going to baby you through it. We're making you do the work. So it's a grind all the way through. It's not an easy task for you to do, and we purposely make it that way.
Dan, I gotta imagine though the reward is what makes it all feel so good for you guys. The amount of time that you're putting into this.
Yeah, it is. It's and what's cool is that afterwards, and I told some of our students, call them students loosely, right? Our students, I had this conversation with them the other day about how cool, like one of our entrepreneurs is John O'Reilly, and she has a coffee. She's doing it's called AA Coffee and Books, and she's going to open up a coffee shop, and it's like a coffee for the culture type space. And I just said, I can't wait to be able to walk into John's shop and say, man, this is cool. We had a little part in this, you know what I mean? And I was just joking, but but seriously, like, how cool is it to show like the entrepreneurs and really support the entrepreneurs that have been through our program, and you can actually see their growth. Like I said, and I'm not taking anything from the folks that have been in our program. A lot of them already were on that road. They just needed some extra push, or this ecosystem that we've created through our programming. They just needed that extra ecosystem push, right? And a part of even when you came, like, our goal is to create connectivity, and exactly what when you brought Bliss on your show and brought Naeem on your show, that's a part of what that connectivity means, right? At what other point in time in Naeem's path would he have been able to meet Joel Goldberg, right? And the ladies of Bliss, right? And not saying that you're not accessible, but saying it in a sense of we're doing things intentionally, right? You came on to talk about storytelling, right? You're a great storyteller, right? Our entrepreneurs need to figure out and need to learn how to tell their story, right? And so that was the purpose for bringing you on. But we bring on so many more individuals to help these entrepreneurs along their paths, and it's all intentional. It's purposeful.
Oh yeah.
It's so interesting, and you're right. I mean, it's everything that you guys are doing is deliberate. It's very intentional, and Absolutely. Then to see it all come to fruition, whatever that looks like, it has to be the greatest feeling. And I know, Dan, that you just touched on that. Let's get to the baseball themed questions, and either of you can jump in together individually, however you want to roll with this one. I have faith in the two of you to dance around each other on this one and make it work the way you always do. But whoever wants to roll here, in terms of the Porterhouse KC, what's the biggest home run that you guys have hit?
The biggest home run? That's a really great question. I know you stumped me the last time, and I'm not trying to provide the same answer that I provided the last time on the show, because that would
it's like the Family Feud. Like, you can't go back.
Right.
Maybe Charon should answer it. I don't know.
I can answer it. Actually, for the cohorts to graduate, that's the biggest home run. Like Dan said, we are very happy that they made it through the course. We haven't had no failures or nobody drop off within these cohorts. So that's an amazing feeling. And then to see that growth that they go through, we're just excited to see the future and where they go. We're very excited about that. So that is
a huge home run,
the biggest home run for us.
Yeah, and Joel, can we mention some of the small? Well, I guess let me not take over or go too far ahead, get ahead of ourselves. So I'll let you go ahead with the next question.
All right. I mean, I'm fine if we go out of order or whatever, but
I got you.
Go there too. I see where you're about to go, but I appreciate that. What about a swing and a miss? And maybe there's been something since you and I last talked, Dan, or maybe not. But what have you guys missed on and learned from?
You know, one of the big things that we talk about, and we just had this conversation as well a couple of days ago, because our partner organization up in Cincinnati named Mortar, Alan came down to visit us this past weekend, so we got a chance to hang out with him and his team, and kind of talk through some things. One of the things that we're working through is, probably 85% of our client base so far have been women. Yeah. Whereas and they're experiencing the same thing up in Cincinnati. We love to have a lot of women, strong Black women and Black and brown women, and in our programs, but we also want to kind of equal it out a little bit and have some guys come in and be a part of this programming. And we, attribute some of those things to, there's a lot of things that we can attribute it to, but we just want to make sure that we're serving in the right capacity. And we don't want to do something that's leaning too far to one way or the other way. And so that's something that we're working on. We're working on enhancing our programming and being, again, more intentional in reaching a diverse audience as it relates to the entrepreneurs that we serve in the urban core. So it's one of the things that we're working on.
Yeah. And then there's the small ball question, the little things that add up to the big results. What are you guys thinking there?
Partnerships have been everything for us. Yeah. I want to mention the EDC KC. So the EDC KC, we're actually subleasing a space on 18th and Vine, our very first space that we're housed in. And so that has been a wonderful partnership. Obviously, the Kaufman Foundation, a great partnership. Chess Inc., our partner organization, has been with us since the beginning, they're phenomenal guys. We've partnered with Small Business Development Center, UMKC, EBB,
CCF,
Community Capital Fund, the Mid-Continent Public Library, Forward Cities, so many different partners that we've worked with, and then some small business owners that have done a lot of, like Lily and James Creative have done. We've done some really cool work with them. The city of Kansas City, KC BizCare, NIA, has sacrificed and come through and provided some resources for our businesses. Heartland Chamber of Commerce, and I could keep going. But some really phenomenal organizations. Gift. We are creating the ecosystem that we want to see. Right. There's always these huge conversations about our disjointed ecosystem, and I feel like at least we can be one point of intersectionality and one point of connectivity through helping the folks that we serve. And so we've found some success in that. So when you talk about small ball, small victories and small wins, those small wins equal like
collaboration.
Yeah, such a huge victory for us.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a team, right? And you can't do everything by yourself. That's entrepreneurship. And it certainly feels as an entrepreneur like you oftentimes have to do everything yourself. And when you have all of that support around you, and that includes both of you as well, those partners believing in everything You're doing, wanting to be a part of it, that's how you win. There's no question about it. All right, 4 final questions as we round the bases. Let's start with we'll start with a fun one first, and let's dig a little bit deeper into the coffee company, Charon, because I love coffee and I want to help support that one a little bit. Tell me how you came to that business endeavor.
All right. So with Black Drip Coffee, so Dan and I, we was just sitting down one day, and Dan was like, "Man, we need to start our own coffee. You know, we've been drinking everybody else's coffee. Why not?" So I was like, "Man, let me order some beans." I try ordering some beans, and then I grabbed a roaster myself, and I try to roast the coffee beans at my house. That was a huge mistake. It smelled like burnt popcorn, and I did not know that. I thought it would smell like coffee. I'd be like, "Oh, my house is about to smell like coffee." No, it smells like burnt popcorn for 2 weeks. Then when I came to see Dan, and he was like, "Man, you smell like burnt popcorn." I was like, "Man, I roasted them coffee beans." So my wife was kind of mad at me. She was like, "We got."
He was on the couch. He was on the couch for that week. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost 2-3 weeks. I was on the couch. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got in trouble. So I had to reach out to somebody. I was like, "Man, I need somebody to roast the coffee beans." So I reached out to Isaac Hodges of Messenger Coffee, and he helped us with the roasting process. He was like, "Man, I can help you in any aspect that you need." And they helped us so far as consultant as far as the coffee. We went through the cuppings, and we came up with this blend, Renegade blend, and it's amazing coffee. It's Brazilian, Colombian, and Guatemala, and it just tastes amazing. It's powerful. It's not too overpowering, but it's the right coffee that you would love to taste in the morning. And that's where Black Drip, we basically sell our products online. We have Black Pantry. We had Sunfresh off of Blue Parkway. And we're going to be at a couple of other locations here pretty soon. We're just working and grinding it every day. And you can find us at blackdripcoffee.com online. We have ground bags now. So the ground bags you can buy online instead of the whole beans. We started off with whole beans because that's how, a true coffee person, they grind their beans and they make their coffee that way. But I was like, why not ground bags? Because a lot of people don't like to grind their coffee. So that's the way we went. But yeah, Black Drip Coffee, our bags are online, ready to order.
You got to make it easy for people sometimes. I like to grind my own every single morning. I don't know if that makes me a real coffee person or not, but I just that's part of my routine. So that's right. How I do it, And well, I should follow up with the very lighthearted. I always say that these are lighthearted questions when I'm not hitting you with anything serious. How do you each take your coffee? I take mine black personally.
Black. Straight black.
They say that's the way that's true coffee. It took me a lot of years to get there too. Like, nah, I need some milk in it or some sugar in it or whatever, but straight black, and I need it. There's some days I need it more than others. That is for sure. Right. And we all can attest to
Joel, I'm going to tell you right now that we have crossed over a lot of people to drinking coffee, and they actually brought grinders just because of the Black Drip Coffee.
French press and grinders and all kind of stuff.
They tried it all.
And there's this misnomer that we've learned as we've progressed in our coffee knowledge, because straight up, like no question, like we're not like the coffee gurus that have been living in a cafe all our lives. Like we're not that guys, right? We like to drink a lot of coffee, right? But so one of the things that we've learned through cuppings and the relationship with Messenger and all these good stuff that we've been doing is a lot of people think dark roast coffee has the most caffeine, and that is not the case.
Who knew?
The lightest light roast coffee actually has the most caffeine. So for all the viewers, just letting you know, when you go and you say, I need the darkest coffee, I need the darkest roast, and because I need to wake up, you're not getting the most caffeine. Light roast gets you the most caffeine. Just the FYI. Just throw that out there.
And our coffee is medium roast.
We have a medium roast, yep.
So a good message to all of the caffeine challenge folks out there in terms
try to help people out.
That's right. Second question, as we round the bases, this will be a more serious one. I highlighted this word in the intro, access. Not everyone has access. This is a deeper discussion, as I've had many times on this podcast before, about privilege, access, whether it be in terms of education, access, whether it be in terms of healthcare. We could go on, transportation, food deserts, on and on. This is not a Kansas City problem. It is a problem in any city in America with an urban core. So you guys are a part of that solution right now. I know it's one step at a time, but just curious for both of you. Dan, we'll start with you and then go to Charon. What does the word access mean to you?
Everything we've created has been in the lens of creating access. When we first started this thing 4 years ago, when we started our speaker series events, access to a space was a big thing. So we wanted to make sure that we were on bus lines. We wanted to make sure we were on the inner city, inner core, so it can be accessible. All the classes were in the evening because we know a lot of our entrepreneurs have their businesses or side hustles. And we know a lot of folks have 9 to 5s. So we wanted to make sure that our classes were after hours. We wanted to make sure we knew that after hours meant that, a lot of the folks that we serve have children, right? Or need to eat in the evening. So what we did is pay for catering out of our pocket every night. We knew access to this information a lot of times comes with a cost. We made ours free of charge. So everything that we looked at through that, we looked at through a lens of access. Because at the end of the day, if we don't provide it, then who will? I mean, that's kind of how we look at it. If we didn't do it, then who would? So, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to start there, right? And because if you don't provide that, you can have the greatest program in the world, and ultimately you're giving them access to success in the business world. But if they can't get there, then how does it happen, right, Charon?
Yeah. Actually, we also want to give them a chance for failure too. That's what's happened at our next location. You get a chance to have your product fail a couple times, and hopefully, we're hoping that it will be successful. But once we open up our second location, we'll actually give you the chance to fail, and we want to see you fail. We want to see you fail more. Just to get to that ramp up.
That's a good way to put it. Access to failure, right? Like we all look at failure as in a negative light because of, the communities that we come from and where we're raised and how we're raised and all those things that are associated with failure. But all successful entrepreneurs understand that success lies in failure. So the more that you get to fail, the more opportunity that you'll have to find success, right? And so access to failure is a huge thing. That's another. We got to write that down. We got these whiteboards. I'm gonna write that on this whiteboard. Access to failure, because it's huge.
Yeah, most definitely.
I love it. Good lesson there. All right, third question, because I feel really fortunate that I've had in my 14 years in Kansas City, for the last 12 years, well, actually every broadcast partner I've had has been amazing. So I've been really fortunate that way. But the last 12, I've worked with Jeff Montgomery, and I tell people this sometimes, probably don't say it enough, that I've never had a bad day with him. Like how does that happen when you work with someone every day? For us, we're generally working close to 160 games a year, 2 shows per game. So, we're doing over 300 shows a summer. Never have a bad day. Doesn't mean I don't mess up or he doesn't mess up or whatever, Jeff Montgomery, but I know how to pick him up. He knows how to pick me up. We kind of can do things without even ever communicating a lot of times. And I'm not saying that you guys are perfect. Maybe you are. I don't know. From the outside, it certainly looks like it's just the perfect match. Again, I'm not saying you don't have bad days, but how have you made this partnership work so well? Because you look like you're just so in sync with each other.
So I would say for me, we just positive. We wake up positive. Not saying that Dan, you know, he might have a bad day a couple of times, but he always is very approachable. He's a very approachable person. We are very humble. I don't like using that word, but we are very humble, and we are easy to talk to. Like everybody can ask us questions, and we are not afraid to answer your question or find somebody who will be able to answer your question. But we just stay positive, and we just talk to each other all the time. You know, Dan is a very much a sneakerhead. So sneakerhead, he collects like Holy Grail shoes and stuff. I want to say he has that issue, and I talk to him about that. We play video games. I'm a video game person, comic book person. I like cars too. So, I mean, if you got comic books, you reach me out because I got a lot of comic books.
So yeah, and then we've been together such a long time. Like, we've known each other over 20 years. I mean, yeah, if not longer. And you know, our connection, like through our fraternal organization and things, like allowed us to really kind of learn each other a lot. And since then, like there's certain people that you just click with, and there's certain people that you don't, and we just click. So you know what I mean? Like Charon said, we tend to think of things in a positive way. Try to wake up on the good side of the bed in the morning. And I am a sneakerhead, and I'm gonna show you what sneakers I got on right now since Charon decided to bring it up.
Sorry,
so I'm a Jordan 1 guy, but I like different types of shoes. You see those? That's a different kind of shoe, right? All kind of colors going on the shoe. But I'm a sneakerhead, so I do those type of things. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's all right.
Sorry, y'all.
Joe gave us the screen.
Those that are watching on YouTube, once he was putting that shoe up, I went full screen on
there you go.
Sean's just sitting there shaking his head like, man, I've seen this act before.
I got problems. I got issues. It's all right. It's all right.
We all have our hobbies, our habits, our weaknesses, and so you know, I think we did that the day that I was on with you guys too. We were comparing shoes. Mine will never match up to yours. I like that. I'm still waiting for my Cole Haan sponsorship. That's all I need. All right, last question as we round the bases, our walk-off, and this is a promotional opportunity, but and I give all my guests promotional opportunities, of course, but more just the fact that you guys always have something going on. And I don't even mean in the sense of different businesses. I mean that every time I look up, there's some kind of event or something going on. So what can people look forward to? How can they get involved? Because I know there'll be more cohorts, more classes, more events. What's on the horizon, Sharon?
Just reach out to the websites or messages on Facebook, the Porterhouse KC. Message, we get it faster than anything on Instagram and Facebook. But the Porterhouse KC, you can sign up for the classes or and see our events. We're working on the calendar currently for the Porterhouse KC events. And as far as the Black Drip Coffee, we always have events for Black Drip Coffee. We are working on calendar for that too on the website. So you can reach us at the Porterhouse KC on Facebook, Instagram. We haven't been really on Twitter that much, but LinkedIn, we on there. You can reach Black Drip Coffee on all the social media sites too. But our events are going to be scheduled here pretty soon. And sign up for our survey or newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter on our websites. That way you can be updated.
Yep. 50 things one time or one thing 50 times. It matters. We try to stay consistent. It's hard for entrepreneurs, right? Like you're always trying to solve problems. You're trying to figure out how to figure out the thing to solve, right? But if you're not patient enough to see those things through, you're going to constantly be trying to chase the tail. And so that was one of the things that came out of our first cohort, the 50 things one time. Because I mean, it matters. It does. So everything that we try to do is all related to growth and entrepreneurship. Like you said, we just closed out the application period for our mentorship program. So that's going to actually start September 14th. Our new small business development program we're not gonna roll that out until January 2022, because we just, like I said, tomorrow we're wrapping up our cohort, the current cohort. And so, like Charon said, if you go to the website, you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get all that information in the newsletter. You'll know when things are coming out, when things are happening in our space. Man, and Joel, appreciate you bringing us on again, man. This is awesome, man. You give us to use our technology too. You know, we got the microphones right here, if you can see them right here. You know,
Dan's a tech nerd too.
I am a tech nerd.
He's a tech nerd. We got those two issues.
That's it.
And then the Snickers.
That's it. That's all I got.
And Sharon's got no issues, right?
Just comic books. What else?
This guy buys shoes too, so don't let him act like he's not in that space too. But
my shoes are just unique.
Maybe not as extreme, but we're close.
Plus, I always say that Sharon's got the best hair in town. So
yeah, he does.
My hair is pretty long.
It is true. It is true.
My hair is pretty long. Yeah, it's high maintenance.
He's overcompensating for me, right? Because we're brothers, so you know.
See, now the truth comes out. Sharon just said that he's high maintenance, but no, neither of you guys are high maintenance. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad that I've had the chance to get to know you over the last year and a half or whatever it's been. There'll be many more opportunities, and I believe too more guests coming on around the bases that are products of the Porterhouse KC in a way to share their stories and be involved in those entrepreneurial journeys as well. So, as always, fellas, it's so good to catch up with you, Dan Smith and Charon Thompson, the founders of the Porterhouse KC. Check out the website, porterhousekc.com. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you so much.